Remember back to elementary school when you were with your classmates in your music classroom. You were learning songs and determining whether chords were happy or sad, looking at diagrams of instruments and trying to determine whether they were high or low. They always told you that the smallest instruments had the highest pitch and the largest ones had the lowest. Now, remember that exact same classroom, but from the point of view as a disabled child. Almost every single classroom had at least one or two special needs children in their classrooms, and they did this for a special purpose, so that they could cooperate with other students who didn't have a disability. But when you look at this music classroom, you're not able to move as smoothly or talk with people on the same basis. That's why they put them in arts classrooms. They put them in arts classrooms to improve the motor functions, so that they can clap and sing and cooperate with other students as they would in the real world. It's very imperative to their motor function, and it helps improve it in many ways. McLean said in 2008 that the arts enable students to engage in problem solving, making connections between abstract and concrete concepts, know themselves, and recreate themselves. Not only that, but it really does help the students with their teamwork. Imagine trying to compose a song with your friends. It's really hard to do if you aren't cooperating with anyone or if you have no help. That's why we put the special needs children in with our regular education classrooms. Rhythms, we usually count them here in high school and college, and even some in middle school, using numbers. 1E and a 2E and a is usually what we use. But then when we get to elementary school, we try to break it down a little bit more. Regular ed students can usually understand through numbers, 1 and 2 and, maybe even 1E and a 2E and a for 4th and 5th graders moving on to band in the middle school. But with special needs children especially, we use syllables like T's and Ta's. T, ta, ti, ta, and then tiki, tiki, tiki for the 16th notes, the faster ones. It's easier for them to say, and it helps them improve their speech in cooperation with other students. It also helps with younger children, not just special needs children. And it goes to show you that the arts really do work in mysterious ways with other education programs. Now, here comes the interesting part. As you grew up, you always looked back on the classification of instruments. There's the stringed, and the woodwind, and the percussion, and all these other kinds of instruments from old to new, advanced to simple. Now, when you were then, you learned that, like I said earlier, the smaller is the higher pitch, and the larger is the lower pitch. Now, I have here with me a tenor ukulele. It is a concert style, which means that it has a hole on the side, which you also may have learned a little bit about in elementary school. And it lets some of the sound escape from there. Now I have this here because I wanted to demonstrate a few things. It's a stringed instrument, yes, and a higher pitched one because it's tiny, very small. And now these special needs children are learning how different chords sound different and why they sound different. For example, a major chord, a C major chord, but you're not going to tell a special needs children that. You're going to tell them that, does this chord sound happy or sad? And of course, they're going to tell you it sounds happy, or it sounds joyful. Sometimes it may sound a little bit in between. You don't know quite how to feel about that. That is a 7 chord. And of course, we're not going to explain that to our other children either. Or you may ask them, how does this chord sound? Does it sound sad? Does it sound sorrowful? It does to me. It's an A minor chord. And you can play different games with this. You can tell the children, okay, let's move when we have a major chord. Oh wait, we have a minor chord. What are the children going to do? You can always tell them to stop. That is a great way to start out with music therapy. That's how it works in many occasions. One of my colleagues once put different signs on her feet. One said stop and one said go. And when she played the music, she would put the foot up that said go, and when she stopped, it would say stop. It was glorious, and it works with all different kinds of people, from music therapy to regular children to special needs kids, people with addictions, people with abuse problems. Music works in mysterious ways, but especially within the school systems. Now, one of the last points that we need to make are the many myths about music education. I mean about special education and music education when they intertwine. Many say that art is just nice. It is nice because it gives the children a creative outlet to explore. They get to sit and draw and have their quiet time, as all of us enjoy. Now, that is a complete and total myth. Art is not just nice. As Jessel Cruz says, she says that art is exciting, confusing, passionate, angry, loving, funny, and mysterious. Now, I completely and totally agree with those statements. You never know what one of your special needs kids is going to draw one day. And that could even help you figure out how to communicate with them best, or help them learn a different outlet in which to communicate with you. And another myth is that the parents don't want to be involved in what is going on in the classroom, which is completely and totally untrue. For example, what if your child was in school and they really loved something? You would want to know about that as a concerned parent. Now take the parent of a special needs person. They already have enough trouble in school making friends because they can't communicate well with others. They can't move as smoothly. They can't go and play with their colleagues. But now, if you give them art, this creative outlet, and you show it to their parents and say, this is what your child drew today, there's a complete and total difference. Or say that they come home singing a special song that they learned today in class. That is a monumental difference in the way that they communicate, in the way that they move, the way they function, and their motor functions improve as well. They can say, I know the difference between a major and a minor chord, and the parents will say, oh, what are those? And you can explain to them one is happy and one is sad. Now, in conclusion, whenever you think about that classroom, that music classroom with all the other kids, think about how much fun it was for you. Now, think of it on a completely different level. The next time you think about it from the point of view of a disabled child. Think about it in a way where you can't move, you can't communicate, and the only way that you can do so is through the music that is being surrounded around the classroom. Think about it as not only being fun, but imperative to another child's development.